All right, let's look at this problem here. So we have 1 over x minus 3 over 2x squared is equal to 1 over 2x. And we're told to solve this equation by rewriting it and solving it. When we rewrite this problem, we want to get rid of all of the fractions. So in order to get rid of all the fractions, we need to multiply by the lowest common denominator. In this case, the lowest common denominator is 2x squared, because we can take this x and multiply it by 2x and get 2x squared. We can multiply the 2x in this bottom term here, 2x squared times a 1, and get 2x squared. And we can multiply that last term here by 2x and by just an x, and get a 2x squared. So that's our lowest common denominator. We can take everything and multiply by that. So what we're going to do next, is we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by a 2x squared. So I'll multiply this side of the equation by 2x squared. I'm going to multiply this equation by 2x squared. This should get rid of all of our fractions. So when we multiply this portion by 2x squared, we have 2x squared times 1 over x. We're going to put this over a 1 so that we can multiply fractions just straight across. This way we get a 2x squared over an x. And if we remember our laws of exponents, our final result is just 2x. So our first term in our new equation without fractions is going to be 2x. This next term here, when we multiply that one by a 2x squared, we're also going to put it over 1 so we can multiply fractions straight across. We always do. We multiply straight across like this. Also, it should be a negative 3 because of this negative here. Is going to give us negative 6x squared over 2x squared. Now, remembering our laws of exponents, just like in the previous one, we can subtract our exponents and cancel out to be a 1. So we're going to get negative 6 over 2, and then that reduces down to, down to a negative 3. So it's going to be minus 3 there. Now it's going to equal the other side of the equation, which is this part. When we multiply this part by a 2x squared, we are going to get 2x squared over 1 times 1 over 2x. When we multiply our fractions, remember we always multiply straight across, we get 2x squared over 2x. Remembering what I've been saying, our laws of exponents, we get 2x. Just kidding. Well, no, we wouldn't, but let's just say we want to get rid of the x's. So we have 2x over 2, which that can also reduce to just x, because I can break this equation up, or I can break this expression up into like 2 over 2 times x over 1, and then this is just a 1, so 1 times x. So this is our final term, x. And now, as you can see, this equation that we have here on the left, it looks a lot simpler than the equation that we started off with, doesn't it? So let's just solve for x from this point on. So in order to solve for x, I always like to do this, do some little train tracks. In order to solve for x here, we need to add 3 to both sides. So now we're left with 2x is equal to x plus 3. And we're going to get our x's to one side. So I'm going to subtract the x from both sides as well. And now I'm left with x is equal to 3. And that's our solution.